the cues, you guys. It's Mr. Red. We also have Clever Girl.
Hi.
And way over there is Quaff Man. And our one-time guest.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Stop it. Nice.
Really?
How long have you been working on that one?
Stop it.
I don't know.
All right, well, I have been sitting on something that I just discovered.
Is it sharp?
Yeah, it hurts. I just discovered it today, and there's no problem. Yeah, I know. It's been there for a while. I don't know why I know. This is not as big a deal as my brain thinks it is, because when I first I've known about Spam-A-Lot, the musical, for a long time, because it's classic.
Fantastic.
It's classic, yeah. And
You've seen it.
Yeah, I saw it at the with my father.
With my father.
Yeah. Okay. This is becoming a thing.
He's going to be a character on the show.
Well, we do a ton of stuff
With my
together.
dad.
We saw it at the Whiting, which is this huge professional. It's actual touring theater companies come through here, it's not community theater stuff.
It's a roadhouse.
Yeah, and
Roadhouse.
we saw Spam-A-Lot, which was amazing, and then ever since then I've just been like, oh, Spam-A-Lot's good. But recently I decided to actually rediscover it. I looked up on Spotify and I'm listening to the music, and I'm like, the Lady of the Lake has a very unique voice because she sounds like she is German, but she's doing an English accent, and so I decided to look her up. And the person that is the Lady of the Lake, when I discovered who it was, because it's somebody that I know, it's somebody, Jody, that you know too.
Ooh.
So when I first discovered who this was, my brain was immediately like, this is amazing. And I'm thinking about it, I'm like, who cares really? Because it doesn't matter. But
Oh my god, who is it? Tell me.
It's Sarah Ramirez, who is Callie Torres in Grey's
that's
Anatomy.
literally who was in my mind. I was like,
Yeah.
I bet you're going to tell me it's Callie.
It's really funny because
Wow.
I know. Here's the story. Here's what happened. She was an actress. She's actually a singer.
Is that how you found out that thing that you told
No,
me? Oh.
I discovered I discovered this thing today at work.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
And so what happened was she's an actress, she's a singer, and she did this. She auditioned, got in for the musical.
So she sounds like she's German.
No.
No,
I don't understand where that. There's like this one line in a song where she sounds like she has a German accent, and I was just thinking about it. But she did so well that for some reason ABC, the corporation, decided, hey, any one of our shows we're gonna give you a spot on. We'll allow you to be on any one of our shows, and she chose Grey's Anatomy because she was such a fan of it, and so that's why she's in the show, because she did such a great job.
Wow.
She actually won a Tony for Spam-A-Lot.
Shit, Callie.
I know. So she is quickly becoming one of my favorite actresses.
Along that same vein, I've been researching actors lately, trying to be more knowledgeable of the field.
Yeah.
So, I can never remember his name. John Marenthal?
John Mayer?
No.
Barenthal?
Marenthal.
Shane?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He plays Shane the Walking Dead and the Punisher in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah.
I thought, okay, this is a decent actor who, like, he has that tough guy persona. Then I did some research. He has, like, an MFA from Harvard.
Whoa.
He is in charge of a theater company that's won multiple awards. I'm just like, who are you? Well,
Yeah.
why don't I know more about you? Why aren't you way bigger in my life?
Yeah. It's always really weird to find out that somebody who... And you always judge... I think a lot of people do. I do. Judge an actor based on the roles they choose. And when somebody plays, for example, Senior Chang in Community, you're like, oh, this guy must just be like this weird actor. But then you find out that he's a doctor. He's a doctor. He has PhDs and everything. He has doctorates and everything. MDs.
Yeah.
It's insane. It's insane that somebody who is that respectable in the world would do Senior Chang in Community. That they would decide that's the direction their life's going to go. But, I mean, at the same time, if you had MDs and you were super rich and powerful and whatever, why wouldn't you just have fun and just do wacky stuff?
The only thing that I've been researching lately on actors is how tall they are.
Oh, that's right.
Because I think it's hilarious because, like, you watch it... We've been watching Game of Thrones forever now. But,
Yeah.
And I'm like, Jon Snow. I'm like, I wonder how tall he is, because I bet he's not as tall as I think he is.
Yeah.
Looked it up. 5'8". Like, oh, well, that's disappointing, because I'm 5'8".
So, yeah, Jon Snow is the same height as
me.
Clever
And I'm
Girl.
like, that's... Yuck.
You two would be looking
I know.
eye to eye.
That's disgusting to me. And then I was like, I also like Rob. How tall's Rob? 5'10". I'm like, that's not really any better.
I'm taller than Rob Stark.
I was gonna
That's
say,
crazy.
yeah, Mr. Ed is.
I'd have to look down at Rob Stark.
You have more.
You're also over 6 foot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have
No, I'm not
more
saying-
testosterone in your body than Rob Stark.
That's what that.
I don't think that's
Isn't,
it.
isn't that sad? That's how women see it, though.
I mean, yeah, that's
Yeah.
the evolutionary defect.
Well, yeah,
Exactly.
because-
That's the statue of David.
Well, yeah, that's why. That's why that whole attractive. That's why tall people are attracted because
That's
tall
why-
people
that's
will give
literally-
taller children. And that's,
Literally, why you know what they say about big feet? Like that's
Yeah.
literally the thing, and it's huge.
what?
But that's the only thing I've been
They're-
researching
they're-
about actors
The
lately.
shoe size. The shoe size
Because then I looked up Sansa, and she's taller than both of them.
I thought.
What?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm like,
By the way, when I type in Tom Cruise, the second autocomplete
Is
is
how
Tom
tall?
Cruise height. Yeah,
how tall is he?
5'7".
So he's,
He's shorter
than me.
than Jon Snow and you.
Yep.
That's really funny.
I mean, he's a little guy.
Yeah. Which,
Yeah.
whatever. I mean,
He has
that's
Napoleon complex for sure.
I mean, they have a lot of really cool cinematic tricks to overcome short dudes.
because we were talking about how they did the giants on Game of Thrones. Because when you're looking at the giants, they are fully within the shot. They're not CGI or anything.
yeah, they do
so
the same thing they do in Elf, where it's just all like,
perspective.
Yeah,
and
perspective.
Lord of the Rings also very famous for it.
yeah.
Well, this is ostensibly a show where we ask each other questions and talk about what's annoying us each and every week. We kind of got off track because
You just couldn't hold it in.
I can't believe that I
Just wait till you
watched
get the
something.
musical episode of Grey's Anatomy. I'm not even joking about that.
Musical episode.
Yep. Just wait.
How have I not?
Is
had
there
this in my
any
life?
show today that doesn't have a musical episode?
Game of
Come on.
Thrones.
Doctor Who.
Yet. The musical is coming.
Whoosicle?
Whoosicle?
Hashtag Dr. Whoosicle.
Seussicle,
Come on,
the
Fringe
Whoosicle.
had a musical episode, and that is the least likely TV show to have a musical episode. Is Fringe?
Law and Order does not have a musical episode.
I highly doubt that.
Next week on Law & Order
Yeah.
SVU.
I have a really hard time believing that.
Something.
Oh yeah.
I say work lightly in this sentence. I work at.
Like a bunch of doors, like 20 doors just around the building that are meant to be like emergency exits. Out the main door to the dance, and then we went around to now our middle school and high school were literally connected buildings.
Yeah.
Like the cafeteria connected the two. So we went around to the middle school side where no one was, and we went into one of these door archways. And yeah, that's the first place I had sex was at my school in a door archway with a big glass door right there for any faculty that just happened to meander by.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a choice. Also, you know what? This is probably just as good, if not even worse.
All right.
The second time I had sex was in a movie theater, but not like in the seating area like you would expect.
Right.
You're disgusting.
No.
I know where this is going.
We snuck behind, and this movie theater had like a hallway from the door, then you take a turn and that's the seating area.
Yeah.
So we went to the hallway where the door was.
Is it that one?
No.
It's right there?
No.
Okay.
So we went to the hallway where the door was,
Yeah.
and we had sex on that hallway floor of a dirty movie theater, and multiple people walked by us.
Is it? Wow. Is it like when?
What?
Yeah.
So when
my
you're sitting in a
gosh.
movie theater, and sometimes if they haven't like cleaned the floors enough, and your feet like stick, did you have that? Were you like stuck to the floor?
No, they were in the
afterwards?
carpeted area.
Right. It was the hallway, so no
Still.
one like threw their garbage there, but
And then, yes, they do.
yeah, looking back, I'm like, man, that was poor life choices.
Well,
I mean, don't get me wrong, they
feel-
were great times, but poor life choices.
I feel like in the right situation, this would happen again for you. If the right situation occurred, you would be like,
I mean,
this is where I got to do it.
it was pretty fun,
Yeah.
but at the same time,
Yeah.
coulda went to jail.
So, I have an answer.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's the most. But the question was like, what's the most adventurous? I think.
Yeah.
Or presumably the one that you're willing to.
Right. I
divulge.
don't think this is the one that has been the most adventurous. And not that I'm unwilling. It's just I think it's the one that makes the better story.
Sure.
I think because there's like sexual adventure and like you in your sex life and this this could have gotten both of us into serious trouble.
No.
So I was a junior in high school.
Uh-huh.
She was a senior in high school, and we happened to have a class together.
Rape? No, I'm just kidding.
What?
No, we didn't even have a class together. She was like the last couple days of like school, and seniors didn't even have to be there if they didn't want to, but she was.
Shoot.
And
For you, huh?
yeah, and we were in class, and the actual class we were watching something. It was some history thing or whatever, and yeah, finger bang. Yep, in class.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you tell me?
Oh, yes.
Because I
Not on the
this.
podcast.
No, because I've never heard this story.
Yeah,
Oh.
I think we just talked about it.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I think you were around. I think.
I've never heard this
Oh,
story.
well, yeah. So, yeah.
Wow.
Fun fact, she is now our neighbor.
What's up, girl?
Yeah. Oh, she could probably hear this. Let's not.
Not
All right.
twice if you're...
Yeah.
The
And then if
breakup
we
was
just-
not, the breakup was not great.
Yeah.
If you ever see her wearing a sundress, just wave one finger at her.
It was a sundress.
Well, there you go.
You tell yours, I'll pick the other one.
The other one.
You pick which one you think, and I'll pick the other one.
Okay, so are there specifically two stories here?
Usually that stand out in my mind.
All right. Well, I can think about the first time. Is that
Yeah, that was one of them.
okay? Well, the first time that we consummated our love for each other was.
That doesn't make it better.
Oh, all right.
The first
trying-
time
I thought it
you,
did.
to quote John Green, scootily pooped.
Yes.
See, you ruined it with the word
Nope.
I hate.
Oh, yeah, you did. There's a double sound. But yeah, scootily pooped. When we
Yes, you will never do
when we in fact scootled, we did it.
Hashtag scoodle.
The very community theater that we I've mentioned
my
before. So and it felt right because we were both theater people, and it's where we met was in this theater. So it was like this very important place in our life, and Jody had a key to the place, and we went into the light booth, which for people who know what a theater. For people who don't know how a theater is laid out, it's above. You have to climb up to it so it can project lights down, and it also controls sound. And it's just this secluded area. You have to take these really narrow stairs to get up, and then it's just this tiny room. And we took sleeping bags or just blankets.
Nothing that time.
Nothing the first time. Okay, so we just took nothing up, and we just went up there, and it was just in the dark, and when we had our time together, and while we were doing it, we heard this bang,
Like
as
something
if-
like dropped.
as if something fell over or somebody hit something, but it was the only sound we heard. We didn't hear footsteps or anything. We immediately were both frozen, and then we were like, huh. And we didn't hear a single other thing. So we were wondering, like, is somebody in the theater who might have knocked something over? I guess this is really flashing back to our Halloween episode that we just had, but it was super freaky. But we did not stop. I mean, we did for a while, but
Just like horror movies tell us not to.
yeah, we're like, it was almost exactly like, what was that?
I literally, not to get too graphic, but just dug my nails into him. I was like, what the fuck was that?
What was that? And I was like, I'm gonna go check it out.
He literally was like, it's fine.
It's probably nothing.
He's
And then
like,
went back to
it was the wind.
So in my head, I remember the scene as having the point of view of the killer, like leaning around and everything. Just because,
Ugh, why do you have...
well,
Well, now I'll never remember that time as
There you go.
lovely as I did.
well. So that was probably the most riskiest thing. Because later on there was a scandal about somebody else who had done it in the theater, but gotten caught.
But got caught.
Repeatedly or just the once?
Repeatedly.
Repeatedly. So this was.
And broke.
A chair.
Yeah, broke a chair.
So we were never
A house
caught.
chair.
We were never caught. Hopefully, well, probably listen to this. Hopefully, he'll keep it under.
I'm pretty sure I've told.
Gotcha. What's up? So yeah,
Hashtag Scoodle Life.
have to have scoodle do. What was it?
Scoodle Life.
No, Scoodle.
Scoodly pooping.
Scoodly pooping. Yeah. All up and down that booth.
We'll put a link in the description in the doobly doop.
Yeah, doobly-doo, yeah.
Well, I'll pick.
Is that from the Matt Colville series? Have you been watching that? The DMs? The DM?
No, this is from
John Green.
Green.
Oh.
His Crash Course series.
Well, maybe he got it from
And the vlogs.
John Green then, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll pick the next day later
Okay.
when we had gone out.
This was going to be my second story.
See,
yeah, so
I told you
there
there's
go.
only 2 stories. We're
I mean,
not very adventurous.
We've done some pretty adventurous stuff, but
these two definitely
the good
stand out.
stories are, yeah.
Yeah. Had went out all day, came back to my house, watched a movie. Everyone in my house was sleeping. But so the day prior, losing virginities.
Right, and then the next day,
Next day, so you're just okay, this is the thing now.
just hormones and we discovered this new, it's like a new weapon in a video game. We're like, I'm going to use this one all the time.
Yeah.
That's a good analogy, right?
I'm going to use my phallus.
It's super
For everything.
Yeah.
So, wait.
Dishes dirty. All right.
So wait. Wait.
Connor, I have something to tell you. The dishes are done.
Hashtag dick dishes.
Stop trying to make new hashtags.
So way too nervous to do it inside the house,
But no, we did though.
but we did.
We did it first on the couch. But then we were like, this is super nerve wracking. People could just wake up and come in at any minute.
Because I have a very small house.
Yeah, and it's not like your living room you had to go into or whatever. It's just open. It's part of the house, so people could have just walked by and been like,
So we said, screw this. Let's go screw
yeah, pun intended,
on the car in the garage.
in the garage outside, and it was amazing. Just so that was, yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy. That's
I told you there was only 2 stories.
That's the only time we've done it on a car. We've done it in cars, but
Yes, in-car sex is awful.
so
That's
it's
awful.
Logistically difficult.
yeah.
I've had bruises on my
Unless you've
head.
had those 70
Look,
cars that were built to have sex in because they just have huge back seats or
Now,
whatever.
did you have sex in the car or on the car?
Well,
had it
that
on.
time it was on the hood of the car.
Okay, I've done that. That's hot.
It is, yeah.
That is hot as fuck.
Why? Why though? What is it?
I don't know.
It's the perfect shape.
I guess.
It really
just
is.
Everything
All the
lines
angles
up
just
perfectly.
line up better.
Yeah.
If we're talking to young teenagers, take notes.
Yeah, yeah. How long is that?
Use protection. Be safe.
which-
Be safe.
which is not.
By the way, yeah.
Practice safe sex. Practice makes perfect.
Yeah, when we first started out, we were terrible at that.
Really
we were
bad,
just
and just got really fortunate.
yeah, we were super.
We look back and go, "What were we thinking?"
And now we wear full body hazmat suits whenever we get near each other. 'Cause we're like, no.
You're not wrong.
I have another story. It's not an adventure one. It's I think my most embarrassing.
Oh yeah, I gotta hear this. We've never been caught or anything. So.
Cut.
Caught.
So this was when my ex and I
Yeah.
were not the one we were talking about earlier.
It's like the main X.
The main X,
The capital X.
Yeah, the one that I had for 4 years.
Yeah.
She was still living at home, and her
I think I've
Yeah.
heard this story.
Your expose on this whole thing was in the missing episode too, so
yeah.
it's too bad we missed on that.
But her parents didn't have a problem with me staying over,
Cool.
or even sharing a bed with her.
Yeah.
Really, that was fine. But it was well, don't be stupid.
Yeah.
Also, the floor creaks every time that bed moves.
Oh.
So, we were respectful enough, and we never did it in the house. And everyone was gone, and we were going to meet them for some event later, but we felt gross, and we went to take a shower. And, well, we got to get going, so let's take a shower together.
Which does not save time.
No, it doesn't.
It does.
It's pretty distracting.
It does if you guys have lived together for a while, and you're just we got to go.
No.
When you're horny
I don't think it,
teenagers,
I was gonna say, I don't think it ever will.
But when you're horny and 20,
Yeah.
we were in there for 50 minutes. Oh, so good though.
Oh yeah.
And the way the bathroom was situated, you could hear the garage door open. You could also very clearly hear the main door open, or the garage door into the house
Yeah.
open, and we didn't hear any of that. So fine. So we only brought one towel in for some stupid it was just an oversight.
Yeah,
Normally it would be fine, and she wrapped herself in, and
Yeah,
she
definitely.
went out, and I went out immediately after. I'm like, because the closet was right there, like right in front of the bathroom, so it was just a matter of, hey, you give me a towel. Her parents were both sitting on the couch, and had been for like 30 minutes.
And you thought you were alone, so you were probably pretty loud.
I will never forget her father looking at me and going, and I'm crossing my arms, looking very stern, going, I'm not gonna lie. That was impressive.
At least he had a good, like, he had...
And that's the thing, though. We were both 18.
Yeah.
Like, whatever. We're both in school and 18 and have jobs and, like, whatever. So it was...
What makes
Whatever.
What makes that perfect is you said he's crossing his arms and he said, I'm not going to lie. And my brain I was about to make a joke like, that's impressive, actually. I'm jealous or something. And then you literally... Yeah, so that's amazing.
I have a pretty great, almost, like, horrible sex tragedy story.
Nice.
So my stepbrother was much more popular with the ladies than I was.
Sure.
And so he was kind of doing whatever with this girl who happened to live, like, 2 blocks away from us. Now, this was the country, so 2 blocks is, like, 2.5 miles.
Sure.
But... we sneak out in the middle of the night to go to their place, or her place, and she has a friend there who, like, I'm hanging out with or whatever.
Or whatever.
For realsies.
Yeah. And so we walk down this road, which is terrifying, because, like, our neighbors half a mile down have reindeer.
Yeah.
You know what's horrifying in the middle of the night?
The sound
reindeer.
I was going to say, the sound of reindeer.
What sound do reindeer
Horrible.
make? Is it just Christmas bells?
Loud sounds.
Yeah.
They sound like angry horse devils. And so we get there, and now they have an RV in their front yard, and that's where they are, and that's where we head into. And yeah, we're teenagers, proceeding, having fun. Like, they were smoking some pot, we were playing some cards, we were playing, some strip poker, and
Wow.
I am surprisingly hitting it off with this really attractive girl. I'm like, oh, this is weird. Whatever. As I'm starting to round second base, heading towards third, what do we hear but the racking of a shotgun?
Ah!
So we hop out the window of this RV
Why?
because we are running for the woods. And we made it to the woods before we heard the dad, like, open the door aggressively. And so we ran.
Oh, it was coming for you. I thought, like, it was hunting season or
No.
it was going after the reindeer.
He was aware of what was happening. Yeah. Horrifying, let me tell you.
Okay. Yeah, that's a nightmare. That's a
Yeah,
nightmare.
don't do that.
No. That is the only time I ever did that. Nor do I plan on trying it again.
See, we just did our Halloween episode, but there's a version of that story where they make a movie about what happened to you that night.
Probably.
Because, like, the crazy father that just has a snap with a shotgun and all that. RV out in the woods.
That's what RV,
It's
the
right.
Robin Williams movie, was all about.
Yeah.
Did you watch it? Yeah.
It was like the Amityville Horror, but with an RV. He went crazy and killed his entire family.
Wouldn't that be like The Shining?
He didn't kill his family.
I haven't seen The Shining. I don't know.
He
I
tried.
mean...
Yeah. Here's Johnny.
Improv line.
Alright, so... Awesome. Yeah, good question. You didn't ask a question, and you didn't ask a
We're
question.
going this way. Yeah.
Hit it. Hit it.
We just talked about that.
Ah!
Hit it again. Not now.
I mean,
How about this?
No.
How about this? Ask a question.
pass, come back to me.
Okay, I have one.
Cool.
bringing it back down to G rating.
G rating.
Yeah, we're a very G-rated show, goddammit.
Yeah, this is a family-oriented podcast.
Yeah. Quickly, and I want you to try and answer it as quickly as you can.
Cool.
So this
All
is
right.
a speed round.
I'm in it.
I'm not going to start it. I'm going to go around.
Okay.
First, SpongeBob quote.
Is mayonnaise an instrument?
It's a terrible show. I never watched it.
You're
ready.
insane.
Do you want to see me climb to that mountain? Do you want to see me do it again?
Okay. Now, I would like to discuss the newly discovered elephant in the room. What kind of a monster are you?
I never liked SpongeBob. Even as a child, I thought this is nonsense. Now, I love the marching band episode.
See, I hate that one.
Is mayonnaise in it? Yeah.
Yeah, because I loved that song they did because I was a child.
I can come up with a bunch of
Me
quotes
too,
now,
yeah.
without.
But, like,
I
the
was like,
first one.
SpongeBob quotes. What? One of my favorites being, "No, this is Patrick."
Oh yeah.
Or like chocolate.
Chocolate.
I said that one my senior year, like every
That-
single day.
Have you seen that episode of the chocolate selling it? Because I feel
I
like
mean,
that's
I have seen this show.
yeah.
I hated it.
Because that episode also had a ton of amazing moments, like when they try to charm the customer, make them feel good. Hello,
I love
you. Door slams.
Oh yeah, I could quote SpongeBob all day long.
Yeah.
Yes,
Or,
Caesar's the Wumbo.
F is for fun. We do stuff together.
I know people get really like sensitive about suicide jokes, but I think the right suicide joke, like I'm gonna kill myself, can be hilarious. And the best one, or one of the first ones, was from SpongeBob when I think it was the Wombo episode where they were shrinking everybody down, and Squidward or something. Oh yeah, it was Squidward. They shrunk him, and he was like Patrick or someone was holding
With a pickle.
him. Yeah, and they were talking about Wombo, the study of Wombo, Womboing.
He, she,
We
we,
Wombo.
Wombo.
And Squidward's just like, I wonder if a jump from this height would be enough to kill me. And I was like, I think I know what I'm going to make my entire life now is just jokes and stuff.
We're just like, lead.
He's just standing there, menacingly.
Yeah, you give me one episode, I could probably quote
we
the
could.
entire thing back to you.
Yeah. I'm ready. It's a good one.
Well, that one's everywhere.
Yeah.
But yeah. I'm ready!
Well, that's really interesting. I never knew that you didn't like SpongeBob.
There's always one person.
There's one moment of SpongeBob that to this day I don't understand.
Uh-huh.
And it's the episode where like Squidward time travels.
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
Future.
That episode.
And he
Future.
starts doing crunches.
Future.
And I was like, what?
Oh, what? Yeah.
Future.
Yeah, I think that's just one of those moments that's just like meant to just be wacky.
When
which I
Earths
really
collide. It has that, yeah, it has like that rap at the end of it.
That was one of the things that taught me, and I think this carries through the rest of my life, about just things going really weird and really creepy in places that you wouldn't expect. Like that episode, the time travel episode, where I think he breaks the time machine or he falls through or whatever, and he's in that dimension. And he's like,
where it's just nothing.
running.
It's like, whoa.
Yeah, and I'm just like, this isn't funny anymore. This is horrifying.
Yeah.
And now that's what I...
There is one SpongeBob quote
yeah.
that gets me. The settlers used to drive these babies everywhere.
Oh, yeah. What was
Fucking, it was just about a giant rock.
The rock.
Yeah.
Boulder! We're saved! We're saved!
That was the...
We're
I
saved!
think that was the Krusty Krab pizza
Yeah.
episode where he's
Yeah.
like, the Krusty Krab pizza is the pizza.
Krusty Krab, yeah. Or an Alaskan bullworm.
Oh, yeah.
That one. Sandy's a girl. That's usually my
Sandy's
quote.
a
That
girl.
one just didn't come to mind, but Sandy's a girl.
And of course the meme that people have recently been throwing around is that when you're a kid, you're watching SpongeBob and you're like, SpongeBob's the best character because he's like you know, he's full of life, he's just happy and laughs at everything. And then as you get older, you start to identify more with Squidward, where you're like, just
I hate
shut up and I
everything.
hate my job, I hate everyone here, I'm just miserable and sad all the time, and it's like,
I am Squidward.
yeah. So
I was Squidward at that age. I was like, yeah, Squidward.
I'm
Of course.
just very Patrick. I float through.
I was gonna say Patrick is probably the greatest character to ever be.
Horseradish is not an instrument either.
And then, whoever's the owner of the brown sedan,
You left your lights on.
and he strolls through, and he just has this. It's just, yeah. Some of it's really stupid, but it's funny stupid. All right, good question. I like it.
Thank you.
I asked.
Oh, it's my turn now.
Yeah, it is.
Sunny.
Spotlight.
What is
Your question.
worst theater story? I'll go.
Oh, hey.
Bringing it back.
Surprise.
We have been waiting for this one.
Okay, so
I don't think I can react as well as I react.
it's fine. The audience will react funny. So, backstory. we have heard this. This was in another one of our famous Lost episodes. So, go.
So, I was recently in a show over this past summer of 2016 where I was acting with a scene partner for half the show. The second half of the show was ours. And there's a moment where she and I had to make physical contact on the face.
What do you call it? Scootily.
Well, that's not scootly pooping, but it could lead there.
I mean, the implication was we were going to scootly poop.
It's more just, at that point, it's more just a
I
scoop.
love when Connor says
Right, it's
it.
scoodle right there, I mean.
Just scoop.
So we had
The leap
there
pooping
was,
comes later.
there was a moment where I had to playfully, after fighting her with a pillow, bring her to her feet off the bed where I'm standing, bring her in, and we kiss. Which had been fine. We're both professional actors, and whatever. This time was different.
Mm-hmm.
This was during a show. This was our second. This is our second show.
Sugar.
And she's on the bed, and we played with the pillow, and I bring her up, and we go to kiss, and she has this weird look on her face, and I'm like, okay, well, she's not giving me like the universal like look sign to like no, like I know something's wrong.
And I just want to. This is not a rehearsal, right? This is a performance.
No, this is our second show. Like so we had opening night, and this is the night after opening night.
I just want to stress that there's an audience watching.
Yes,
this.
there is
people in the
there
show.
is a good sized audience in the house watching this play.
Okay.
We kiss, we make contact.
I just can't even.
And these are little pets, like these characters are supposed to be, very in love, though inappropriately, and
yeah.
So it's a nice lip lock with open mouth a little bit, and well, she puked in my mouth.
That happened. That
She
just
puked
happened
in my mouth.
Clever girl.
Hashtag puked in my mouth.
Clever girl is doing that thing where she's like fanning herself and looking up.
The first time I heard this story, it took everything I had to sit at that table and let you finish that story because I was like,
I've never seen so much like steel reserve.
I had like tears rolling down my face. I was like, ugh.
This is the worst.
And so, backstory. There's more to the story, but now backstory.
Yeah.
We don't go on in the first half of the show. It's two other actors, intermission, then we go on and we finish the show in the second act. And so during the first act, we usually ran lines real quickly and just make sure they were down and everything. And she had mentioned that she felt really tired. She had been out in the sun all day.
Yeah.
She hadn't worn sunscreen. And I asked her if she had eaten anything, and she said no. Had she drank any water? No. She had been drinking, though.
Yeah. So she kind of had this coming.
Yeah, so really, she got dehydrated and had a little bit of sun poisoning, and yeah. So, now, cut to, there's puke in my mouth.
Yep.
There's puke in her mouth.
Uh-huh.
There's puke in my mouth.
Nightmare, yes.
Her puke.
Her puke.
Her puke.
Yeah.
We separate.
This is foreign puke, Connor.
We separate. And we both lock eyes, because we have to. We have to lock eyes, and we have to make a decision.
Yes.
Do we suddenly both put our hands to our mouths, take the little puke in our mouth, and just fling it on the floor, and just let it be?
Connor, no, Jody's like gagging in the other room.
Or do we move on with the scene? We locked eyes. Our souls were connected.
In that moment,
And on,
we're one.
and on a 2 count, 1, 2, we swallow.
I think we need to take a brief intermission for like a musical break or something because someone want to play a song or whatever.
I have a pretty good joke.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I don't. It's
All right. So,
Well, that was a good joke.
yeah. So,
That's my worst theater.
what a Absolute nightmare.
Woof.
We finished the show. People enjoyed it. She felt very bad about the incident. I said not to worry about it. Drink fluids.
Yeah. Water.
Our stage manager and our assistant stage manager at the end of the show were off stage, and they had cups of mouthwash ready to go.
Wow, that's
So like
efficient.
they knew something happened. Yeah.
Well, I thought that story would be easier for you, Jody.
I know, I've heard it before, and just, when you get to the point when you lock eyes is when I lose my shit.
We need to make a decision here. What does the future hold for us in this moment?
And you gotta think, like, for the audience, this wasn't like a long time. We kissed, we separated, there was like a moment of like endearing silence.
Yeah, it could for the audience.
Yeah.
It could have just been
Right,
this
exactly.
moment of-
So for them, they knew nothing.
Oof.
We were dying.
Yeah.
I more than her.
Oh yeah, because it's not your vomit.
Who wants to go next?
Well, I have one that's not revolting. Do we want to go out of order? Who cares?
Sure.
Okay. So I told the story. I think this was the story I told last time. I don't think I told it on the podcast that made it. Murderous Mansion of Mr. Uno
Yes.
was the play.
I saw this. I was there.
Yeah, you were in the audience for that.
I
So
was.
this is. I would have been either a sophomore or a junior in high school, and we decided not to do a musical. We decided to do a straight play. It was called The Murderous Mansion of Mr. Uno. It was essentially Clue, just a knockoff version. And I played literally the Colonel Mustard character. He was just this old war veteran with a big fake mustache, and
I wish there was pictures. I would have loved to have seen
I'm
it.
sure I could find some somewhere. But it was a fun show. I enjoyed doing it. And there's this, and the whole thing is that it's this murder mystery, and it's this rich person invites a bunch of people, like Clue, out to a dinner. And my character's the first to arrive, and so the butler lets me in on stage. And this is a performance. This is maybe not opening night, but this is Connor was there. There was an audience member.
Yeah.
There was an audience there, and the butler character seats me, and I sit down in the middle of the table because I'm the first guest, and it's just me and the butler. And he says, "All right, well, I'm going to go check on his line." Who was like, "I'm going to go check on the soup or whatever." So he goes off. I'm on whatever the food. I'm on stage by myself, and so. What I learned later was that the show has a narrator, and it was supposed to have somebody stand up and say, "Welcome to Murderous Mansion, Mr. Uno. It's a murder mystery. Enjoy. Sit back." But that didn't happen for some reason. She was like late, and so what they had talked about was, and what they had given the cues to the other actors for was, this person was going to, at that moment, once I was sitting on stage, was going to give her opening soliloquy there. However, they didn't tell her, the narrator. Kind of a giant oversight. And so everyone's waiting on everyone else. Nothing's happening. I'm the only person on stage. So 30 seconds go by. And
longer.
Well, I mean, before I started to. 30 seconds, about maybe a little less, go by before I'm just like, I realize something's wrong immediately, and then I'm just kind of sitting there, and then I'm like, is this dinner going to start anytime soon, or try to play it off like it was? Because, you know, when you're in the theater and something goes wrong, you just have to go with it. You can't be like, cut, what's going on? Where's everybody? So I'm like, is this dinner going to start anytime soon? Or and then I kind of stand up, and I look off stage, and I look aside, and I'm like, what's going on here, or whatever. And then I move to the back where they have this piano, and I'm just trying anything I can do to make it seem like this is supposed to be the way it is. And so there's this piano there, and I'm just like, and then I look around like I'm not supposed to be doing this, and I start playing something. Connor, what did you say that I played?
Twinkle,
Twinkle, Little Star, because... Yeah. And then... And only then, when I started playing this piano, did either the butler come out or the next guest arrived or whatever, but something happened, and then I immediately ran back like, oh, they caught me where I wasn't supposed to go. But I was just freaking out that I was on stage for... It had to total about 2 minutes, 3 minutes.
It had to total around like a minute and a half.
But it felt like 10 years had gone by.
Oh, it was excruciating.
Yeah, and I'm sure it didn't come off as natural. Connor can attest to that.
I know your acting style pretty
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
and I that was the most real I had ever seen you on stage, and I'm like, something's wrong.
Wow, thanks.
Well, no, like real as in like you're not
Not acting anymore.
right. It's,
right. So that wasn't like. I'm sure there have been other things, but that's just always the one that comes to mind. It's me just being on stage, nothing's happening. I don't have anything to go off. It's not like if somebody forgets their line, you can try to work
Flub
around
over
it.
it, yeah.
Or just go to another character or say the line yourself. Instead, it's just, I have to own this now. I'm the only one on stage. And everything just went completely south immediately. So it was a lot of fun. In retrospect, I love that story. But at the time, I was like, anyone have a gun? I will take anything now rather than this.
You
Anything.
survived the actor's nightmare.
Yeah. And then now I'm not an actor, so I don't know if there's a correlation there.
You
but,
acted beyond that, though.
yeah, that's true. So that's what happened to me.
There were many more crazy hats for you to wear.
Mm-hmm. What about you? Or you?
I haven't had a ton of really bad acting experiences because I'm known around our community theater that, like, I know everyone's line, so if you hesitate for a fucking second, I'm gonna say your line.
Right.
Like, I don't play around. And
Yeah.
I know that's really rude, probably, but...
that is
yeah.
I would
Yeah.
hate you.
Yeah, but if you don't know your shit, get it together.
If there's supposed to
Like,
be...
if it hasn't been going the way that we've practiced it, in rehearsal. And anyway, I just don't. Because I do give a grace period, but then I'll say your line.
Right.
So I don't have a ton of those, but in high school, and this was my senior year, we did Alice in Wonderland, and I played the Queen of Hearts, and it was the courtroom scene, and all of my lines were exactly the same. Off with her head, blah 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 blah
Yeah.
blah. So it was so easy to
Very
get.
one-track mind, that character.
Yeah, and all my lines were like exactly the same, and it felt I missed something or jumped something, and I was just like, and I knew it was me, and I was just like, and no one came to my rescue. I was like, oh god, I have nothing, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And that felt like an eternity. So, but that's the only real another nightmare that I've always had, and it did come true, during a Christmas show. Like, I go up to say my line, and you, like, go to inhale, and then, like, something gets caught in your throat, and you're like, so then you can't get your line out, so you're like, so you're just like, blah.
Yeah.
So you just try to play it off like your character has a cold or something. You're just like...
Alright, so what happened to you then?
That's the thing. I don't have that many, like, major bad theater experiences. I mean, I have dropped a line before, which is horrible, but it was during a rehearsal, so, like, that shit happens.
Yeah.
I would have to say my most horrific theater experience actually happened outside of a production.
Yeah.
So, if you're playing the drinking game, take a shot. I study theater. I'll wait for you to take your shot. Thank you. Well, so when you study theater, you can either get a BA in theater, BS in theater tech and design, or a BFA, which is a Bachelor of Fine Arts, which is a more specialized course. But to get into that program, at least at our school, you have to have an audition, and you have to be brought in by the...
and you have to review because you can be kicked out at any semester. You have to review.
It's a very intensive program. So I auditioned for it because, I want to be an actor, so why wouldn't I take on the challenge? And then I didn't get in ultimately, which their reasoning was because I also have interest in other artistic medias, and it would be, too focused for what they think I want to do. But I'm talking to the professor that's in charge of all that afterwards, and she, of course, talks to the other professors who are at this thing, just to get their professional opinion. And I found out that one of my professors said, and I quote, "He's not an actor." And that was a rough moment.
Yeah.
Now, of course, it was followed by, but what he meant was you don't have that, like, the urge to just jump in and do it. You're very hesitant. You need to get past that if you want to make it.
Right.
But still, like, just hearing not only a professor who you like, but, like, we asked in a previous podcast, like, who's your doctor? This is the who's my doctor of professors. Like, this is a professor I look up to.
Yeah.
This is who I want to be like. or at least my version of what he does, and to have him like say that, I was like, fuck,
Yeah,
that's rough.
that is.
Now, granted, I'm still there. I'm taking a class with him. He has noticed my improvement, and I've noticed him noticing it.
Yeah.
Which is a nice feeling.
Right.
I noticed you looking at me, looking at you.
Yeah, like.
This could go on forever.
But yeah, that was honestly a very disheartening experience.
That does suck. On the other hand, I'm really glad you told that story because I'm pretty sure we've made the joke, like, as someone who's not an actor, told you not and that's what we're referring to, so I'm really glad, because I don't
That
think
was
we ever
like day
explained that.
one you told us that story. We were
the
like,
first time,
"Meh."
Hashtag not an actor.
Hashtag not that.
You are
is a
not
real
an
one.
actor.
So yeah, that would sting to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Peeves and Qs, you guys. That was good. Did we ask questions? Did I have a peeve?
I think we got them all.
Got everybody.
So, does anybody have a one cool thing, something they want to plug?
For
Talk
realsies.
For realsies. Because I do.
What?
Well, Green Day put out a new album called Revolution Radio. I listened to it.
Yeah.
The first time I listened to it, it was, I was like, it's better than the trilogy that they put out recently. But I would say it's never going to be as good as American Idiot. And I would say it's on the same level to me as 21st Century Breakdown. It's got a lot of songs that are just... Yeah. It's got a lot of songs that I can listen to just over and over again. It's something I do. And I've listened to it... I've listened to it since then. What? I've listened to it since then, and it's... really growing on me, so it's becoming a really good album. If you haven't listened to it,
You're just a pusher of things.
Yeah,
like
I
push people to.
yes,
try
I
new
enjoy things. I want other people to enjoy the things I enjoy. It makes me happy.
It's almost like culture or something.
Yeah, it's almost like there's this pop culture around
I just
culture.
don't like being pushed.
No,
Not you.
I have a cool thing that I think people should check out.
Yeah.
So for those of you that don't know about the series South Park, or you think it's dumb, because admittedly it is a bit immature.
Or if it insults you for your hair color.
Yeah, Mr. Red.
All right.
But they've recently, and by recently I mean their last season and their current season, switched their format from episodic to what's called serialized, which is where it's one continuous story told in many episodes.
Yeah.
Guys, it's beautiful. The stories they've been telling, specifically in this the last season and this one, which of course isn't over yet, but so far it's just these beautifully crafted stories about real social change, and it always upsets me when people are like, South Park's so pointless, it's just nonsense.
No.
It's meant to be social
Yeah.
satire, and I think they've really hit like this new gold mine, and I think people should check it out because it is pretty cool, and it's an interesting way to look at the world through the lens of, I would say, pretty intelligent artist.
Yeah. Matt Parker and Trey Stone are...
Matt Stone and Trey Parker.
Oh, wow. Whoops.
Wow.
Those two...
You need to do some more research on
I
your
guess-
actors,
I
I
guess I
guess.
do.
Or,
Those two are geniuses. I hesitate to say I'm a fan of theirs because most of their stuff, it's just like the tone of it just doesn't work for me usually. But what they're writing about and how they're writing about it, Book of Mormon is on the same level, which I think it's brilliant. I think what they're talking about is always like, yes, absolutely spot on. These two people are genius. Well, and there was the other guy who worked on Book of Mormon. I can't even remember, but that new Q guy. But I've never been able to get into South Park just because it just doesn't appeal.
It's a
to
lot
me.
of potty humor for you.
Well, there is that, yeah. But from what I've seen, there are some episodes that are less like that. But even then, it's just the animation style and the characters. It's not that I don't like it. I'm like, oh, South Park. I'm just like, I mean, it just doesn't connect with me. So.
And I think the official music video for Say Something should be the montage they use in the South Park episode Tweak X Craig. It literally brought tears to my eyes the first time I watched it.
Wow.
It was beautiful.
Cool.
I have a plug.
I was going to
South
say,
Park.
are you pushing
I have
something?
a plug. I have a plug.
Munch.
Shutting it down. It's over. You
He's
can email
melted.
us at peevesandqspodcast@gmail.com, Twitter at peevesandqs. We're not coming back anymore. This show's over. We're done. Shut it down.
Jordan!